Hey goddesses, I am Jude Hotep. I'm the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. I'm so glad to be here with you for this new moon in Leo forecast plus the sun sign horoscope. So if you haven't been here before, part one will be the astrology forecast. I channel astrology channel from my guides, the universe, and bring so much good information through that they're wanting to offer you at this time. And also in part two, I go through sun sign horoscopes, astrology readings, and oracle card pulls for all 12 signs. So it's super amazing to be here with you in this August month where it is very hot all over the earth. There is a lot of drought. There's the need for water. There is the need for understanding around the energies that have come about us and the changes that we've gone through in the last few weeks. We're going to get into all of this and get into the chart here in a moment. If you don't know about me, I'm a professional astrologer and a master soul coach. Worked with women for 10 plus years to heal trauma, past life drama, and all of that. And I also work with corporate women coming out of the spiritual closet to either start or up level their spiritual business. So I also work with women in astrology readings, individual astrology readings. So this is Light Goddess YouTube. Welcome here. If you're new here, we do the new moon and full moon forecast every month. And then Alchemical Initiations comes out once a month where I interview amazing women and once in a while a man and talk about the divine feminine awakening that's happening, spiritual journey, so much of the astrology and we get into some like really deep rabbit holes about anything you can think of. So let's get into the chart. If you like anything about this video, please like, subscribe, and share so that other people can find this. I really appreciate this and appreciate you here. So this is happening on August 16th. It's at 4:38 a.m. Central Time. Adjust for your time zone. And so this is Wednesday of this week. This is a Leo new moon. It's at 23 degrees. It is square Uranus. Since this is a new moon in the sign of Leo, it's ruled by the sun. And of course, a new moon means that the moon is always conjunct the sun, whereas a full moon is always a moon that is opposite in opposition to the sun. So we're in this new moon at 23 degrees and 17 minutes, and Uranus is square this moon exact by degree. So this moon is very Uranus heavy moon. We also have this grand earth trine, and so this is very much, this moon is really important. A lot is going on in this Leo new moon here. Leo is the archetype of creative self-actualization. It's the archetype of your own very unique individuality. It is between the signs of Virgo, which is about really taking the Leo and adding humility to it so that the narcissism doesn't continue, or the megalomania, etc., and the like, grandiosity, all of that, and adding the humility to it of Virgo. And then Virgo has its own issues and moves on. But then on the other side is Cancer, and so it's coming out of only knowing its identity through ancestral lineage, tribe, and so forth, into its own unique individuality. And so Leo is so much about creative self-expression, and it's the sun, it's the vitality of the sun. If you think about the sun, it rises, it peaks, and it sets in the same place every single day. It's very, very consistent. It is how we grow our food. It is how we have warmth on the planet. It is how we have our nurturing of all of the systems and processes on the planet. It is the center of our solar system. It is our heart. And if you think about the sun in your natal birth chart, your sun is your heart. It's the heartbeat of your chart. It's very much, unless you have other planets heavy in that same sign, you don't really show up like your sun. Your sun is the blood in your veins, but it's who you're becoming in this life. It is your life purpose. And so you will very much show up much more like your rising and your moon and your south node and your Pluto placement, so much more than your sun. And this is so important to understand, that it's our life purpose. It's the heartbeat of our solar system. It is what makes everything function on the earth, and all of the processes works together. It's our vitality, it's our life force energy. It's the fire that keeps burning and keeps burning, keeps burning, even behind the clouds. It's consistent. So Leo energy is mentally focused, and it's creative, and it is this sign, this archetype about creative self-actualization. Here's the thing, I find so many women don't understand a broader definition of creativity, and I think this will help you so much in your life to broaden what your definition of creativity is. A lot of people think of it as fine arts, or it's only in an art class, or making clay, or literally painting, and but realize that it's a procreative, creative force. So creative as in plants, a garden, creative as in creating humans, babies, having children, creative as in a romance, or it could be ambiance, creating an experience. So many people, so many of you have powerful businesses where you do retreats or you run programs, and you're creating an experience there. Your intellectual property, all of your ideas and the work that you put in the world, it's your unique content. That is creativity. So creativity is so vast and big, and it can be with technology and buildings and architecture. It can be with creating a relationship. Like what is the relationship that we're creating here? It's one of trust, and being able to be authentic and speak our true self, no matter how inconvenient that can be, or how triggering or jarring. Maybe it's that kind of relationship that you're creating. And your business is a creation, your life. And so I love to look at the Leo archetype as this masterpiece of your life, that you're creating this masterpiece. Your whole life is this masterpiece, is this artwork that you're creating. And it means that you have to really start to unravel all the perfectionism things, all of the imposter syndrome stuff, all of the reasons why you don't act, because we have a Libra South Node and an Aries North Node. And that Aries North Node is asking you to act, to initiate. And what are we initiating? The sun, the Leo, this new moon is this new birthing after this Venus Cazimi, this Sun Venus conjunction that happened on the 13th. That was this really special moment, because it was ending 8-year cycles and beginning a new 8-year cycle. It's this new Venus cycle. It is this new 8-year vision that we're putting forth. And so you can still do ritual. I really encourage ritual around this time, because this is really important for the feminine. We are anchoring the feminine light back onto the planet. And there's a lot of threads about this. There's so many threads. Some of the threads have to do with how much anger and rage comes up within women once we realize and go through the many phases of the divine feminine awakening journey, or you could call it the feminine awakening journey, or a woman's awakening journey, whatever it is, where you're awakening to your power as a woman that you realize was suppressed, oppressed, and that you participated in, most likely. And it's because we participated in it because the patriarchy's been internalized, the dominator culture, the culture of somebody always superior, all of the superlatives in the culture, better, best, greatest, like we grew up trying to be better than other people. We internalized all of this. So of course we would act out all that we knew of living until we knew something different. And women are awakening all over the world. Uranus moving into Taurus in 2018. What are we doing here? Can we stop this? There we go. Here's Uranus. And Uranus moved into Taurus in 2018. Taurus, thinking of the divine feminine, but also disruption Uranus of Earth. Fixed Earth, Taurus. Taurus is the most fixed of all of the 12 signs, because it's Earth A, and B, it's fixed. So it is fixed Earth. It's the only sign that is fixed Earth. And it is so the most solid of all of the signs. And so we have the status quo. So we can think of that Taurus, that Uranus and Taurus, as the status quo, what's come before. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008. showing us, revealing all of the secrets of the Capricorn distorted archetype, all of the top-down structures, big business, always making money at the expense of the employees and the people working for the CEOs being narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths, not caring about people, not caring about the earth, not caring about the laws we used to have in place against monopolies and the reasons we don't do that. That we, we're a country that didn't do that, changing the tax laws and all the policies just to be able to pollute more or to pay workers less. And the wages, that minimum wage would be about $24, $25 if it would have kept up for inflation 15 years ago. So today in 2023, what would it be, right? I mean, we're talking like 40 some bucks, maybe more with, I had tea that went up $5 in 10 months. So if we think about inflation and these things, so this is what Pluto has been showing us. Pluto has been showing us all the control powers in place. Pluto's been revealing the secrets, and it's moved back into Capricorn, which is so interesting that now there's a lot of this disclosure about how there's the extra constitutional faction that has been embezzling trillions of dollars from the American people to fund working on crafts and things that are all these technologies that would, clean up our air and end poverty and end any sort of financial issues or pollution issues and all of that within like 10-20 years, that we have all these technologies that can advance civilization and should have been doing so 100 years ago. So we have all this disclosure happening, but a lot of red herrings around disclosure. People are scared of this and scared of that. So you have to be really aware of not getting feared out by bullshit and all the red herrings, and understand anything in the mass media is red herrings. This is what we want you to look at. This is how we want you to be afraid today, so that you get off your game, don't focus on your vision, don't shine your light, are so feared out that you just don't even live, and you're escaping, Saturn and Pisces, society in Pisces, escapism, distraction, all of our focus just watered down into nowheresville. That's so much of what Pisces can be. And that Saturn in Pisces is so strong, with it being ruled by Neptune and at home in Pisces. So we have to understand the factors going on in our world right now that could really easily take us off our path and distract us from what is our important work to do. So we have this 15-year cycle that's coming to a close in January, but right now we had it move back, Pluto moved back into Capricorn, and so we're seeing even more disclosure. And so women have been rising, and so this Venus cycle, if you think about August of 2015, you think about August of 2019, the 4-year cycle, what was going on then, and really look underneath. Like, I really encourage some journaling and ritual around this, to look underneath of what was going on, not just the externals in your life, like I got a new job, or I got a car, or I quit the relationship, or this changed, but really look at the deeper parts of your soul, your longings, your desires, your inner changes and transformations. What was going on there? Because Venus is about money and relationships. Venus is the feminine. It is our power. It is the goddess unto herself. Like, it is one of the, Aphrodite, Venus is one of the goddesses that is unto herself, meaning that she doesn't need a man. She doesn't need external, she doesn't need money, she doesn't need this, she doesn't need that. She has her security completely from within. And this is one of the hardest things about understanding life from a soul perspective, is that everything about evolving makes us feel insecure and makes us feel self-doubt. But that's all this life is actually about at all. And so we're only always just battling our willingness to be insecure and go through self-doubt and go through discomfort to allow ourselves to evolve. And what we're afraid of, and we're basically unpacking, spending our life like unpacking all the things that we think we're afraid of that make us feel insecure and make us feel self-doubting. But the thing is that we play so small when we don't choose to jump off the cliff and to let our wings fly and let our wings carry us. So realizing that Leo is about confidence, It's about self-belief and being self-possessed. It is confident in itself. It believes in itself. That's why it can be such a shadow egomania, because we need that archetype. Remember all the 12 signs, we always look at the 12 signs and individual sign within the whole of all 12 signs, because they work together. They work together as a whole. And so we want to understand Leo, and that there's no other archetype like that in the other signs. So we need this Leo archetype to be able to stand on stage in our lives, to be able to stand on stage as a powerful woman in this world. And women, as we're standing on stage in the world, all of these things are coming up. How we twisted ourselves into pretzels to fit in, or did everything for the person, the partner, or the man in our life, or try to toe the patriarchal line, try to get our authority from false senses, from false versions of authority. Your position in your job, all the letters behind your name, all of these things that can just go away and be meaningless. And so it's really always driving you back internally to get your security from somewhere within that's connected to the divine and yourself as divine. And so the thing about Leo is it's playful, it's fun, it's enthusiastic, it's fire energy, it's action, let's go, come on, laughing and jokes. And it is all of that amazing fun energy. It's playful, it's goofy, it's that kind of energy. It's the heart. And to be in your heart, you have to be willing to be okay with the feeling of vulnerable. It's that wearing your heart on your sleeve feeling. And so getting super comfortable with that feeling of vulnerable, and to be in your feminine energy as a woman, when the patriarchy and the dominator culture and the patriarchy within people, so within men and women, and I'm talking about biological sex, not gender. So whatever gender, all is welcome here. But the patriarchy within humans is rising up and rearing its ugly head, and it's being triggered by all of us that are awake, that aren't taking no bullshit anymore, that are standing up in our power, that are speaking our voice, that are no longer being silenced, suppressed, shut down. Also, though, we're on the journey of reclaiming this reclamation of feminine power, feminine voice in the world, feminine authority, feminine expertise, and back in the world again in a whole new way. You may have done your business. So many women in the corporate world, we had to do it the masculine, toxic masculine way to make it there, to make these inroads into the patriarchal world. However, now we don't. And so it's peeling off all of those internal layers from your consciousness, pulling all of the layers of the patriarchy out. And there's not a great word, a much better word for the patriarchy than that word, even though it often is conflated with men. And it really should not be conflated with men, because the patriarchy is not actually white men, even though that's the costume it came in for centuries. Patriarchy is actually narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths, and also those with damaged egos that emotionally manipulate. It's that group of the population of the world who skew other people in the greater collective to behave in those ways, and to be groomed and habituated to dysfunction and abusive type behaviors, and to engage in that way too, and have all that patriarchy internalized, because that's the only way they thought that they could make it and get ahead and survive. But also, it's the culture, it's the systemic setup, all of that. And women who are rising are changing this. And so the patriarchy is rearing its ugly head, saying, and very triggered, and it's wanting to dominate, and it's wanting to trick you and fool you. And that's all of this Neptune and Saturn and Pisces energy. You have to be aware, Saturn and Pisces can be deception everywhere. It is deception everywhere you can look. So you must navigate this world with your intuition. You must make your intuition so super, like your superpower, super strong, which means you have to go through experience after experience after experience of not getting it, to go back and retroactively cognate what was going on there and learn what you are sensing through your intuition. Everyone as intuition. It is just simply the ability to consciously understand and interpret that intuition correctly. Here's my hack. If you can't interpret what it all means and your intuition says go or your intuition says no, just follow it and figure that shit out later. That way you are not in self-betrayal. That way you are not in a situation where it's added distress or issues or problems that you would have been able to avoid had you listened to your higher self intuition. So we must navigate this world with our intuition. AI at the level of sentience. AI can see bodies inside a house and can tell where they're located in the house. AI can turn your thoughts into words and pictures on a screen. We are at this place. And I know that might be hard for some of you to hear that maybe aren't up on this information, but this is the truth. This is where we're at. So we have to be in our power so we can start saying no to this. Italy has put the kibosh on AI being used to certain extents, so that because of how it can be used, and not that there's been much privacy for a very long time now, but democracy requires privacy. So we have to think about these things and be aware and eyes open, but not let it fear you out, not let it get you out of your ability to be at these higher levels of frequency and function. You want to be at the highest levels of your executive function, of your health, of your healing, of your wholeness as a woman. And on the awakening journey, that's why I do this coaching work and one-to-one coaching with clients about all of this, is because we need support. We need sisterhood. We need support. We need people who have been on the journey before and understand it. You know, that's what that whole Icarus and Daedalus mythology is all about, is that Icarus didn't have his dad who was supposed to be looking out for him, who understood the scoop of what was going on, so that he didn't like get high on ecstasy and spiritual bliss and just like go crazy and then die. You know, he was supposed to have a guide that went before him to way show and to point, you know, directions and to help him understand some of these parts of the spiritual journey that's very discombobulating or frightening or confusing. So look at your cycles and what's been happening for you. And I really encourage this ritual and ceremony around this that can help you sink into this vision for your life for the next 8 years, and connecting to like where you're growing and where you're at in this feminine awakening, because women are awakening all over the planet, and it is us who is the hinge pin for moving humanity toward a peaceful humanity, towards a humanity that is no longer under the control of all of these old paradigms of existence that are, you know, suppressing and controlling and are inequality and keeping people impoverished and in harm's way, all of the trafficking going on the planet, all of these really, really depraved, dark things that have been going on for a long time. So women are leading the way in changing this, and there is good happening all over the planet. Make sure you are putting that good into your mind. Search for it, find it, make lists of the amazing things going on in the world, so that you can make sure to show yourself all the amazing things. People cleaning up the ocean, people changing the way we do plastics and other materials, people doing insurance differently, big organizations changing healthcare, changing our food production systems. People are doing school differently for their children, and they're no longer putting their children in these indoctrination machines, you know, called public schools. You know, it's like people are awake and waking up. And so we want to fill and inundate ourselves with all of the good on the earth. And so this new moon is a seed planting time. This new moon is definitely this procreative new moon. It's Leo, it's creation. It's creation, baby. It's like, this is, you know, this is all about the joy and the enthusiasm and creating all the things. Like, and for me, I love to create things in my business. Like, what do you love to create? You know, I love to play around and do other things with painting and things like that, but I love to create beauty. I love to create things like this, like content in my business. And this is my creation. You know, what is it for you? Maybe you are having a baby. Maybe you are creating a romance and a vision for your life. Maybe you're creating a lifestyle. This is something else to think about, is about the lifestyle that you want, because Mars is in Virgo, Mercury is at home in Virgo. And so, and we have this grand Earth trine. This grand Earth trine, the Earth is about manifestation and making something real on Earth, making something tangible, grounding something into the reality here. And so what are you grounding into this reality? So realize that at this new moon, this grand Earth trine is really important. This is a manifestation moon. This is less of like a visioning, but more of a manifestation moon. And so think about what came up for you on the 13th with that Venus Sun conjunction. And this moon has Uranus and Taurus square it, which means it is about taking action on your creative, whatever you're trying to create in this world, whether it's a part of your business, your whole business, your lifestyle, everything I've just talked about. So whatever that is for you, it is about acting. And it's also about awakening to yourself as a creator, awakening to yourself as an alchemist, and retrieving from the difficult experiences in your life and alchemizing that to your advantage, using all of it for your advantage and for your wealth. We have to get out of this victimhood consciousness. We also have to realize that this world has programs of masochism, guilt, and atonement just so woven throughout the culture that people are so confused about that, because that programming is in the consciousness of the collective that we need to pull apart, unpack, and dismantle from our psyche. We need to pull it out of our consciousness and stop fucking doing this guilt and atonement bullshit. Stop being a masochist and thinking you've done something wrong. You have to atone for your sins. This is so in the women's like psyche. It isn't men, it isn't all people's psyche. And Lilith is conjunct this new moon. So this is so important to understand the Garden of Eden story about how, you know, nobody takes, you know, first of all, this is a fake made up bullshit by the patriarchy to control people, and particularly to make men think they're dominant to women, to dominate over women, and to keep perpetuating that way. And for the men that already had that within them, that spoke to something, and they're like, yep, let's go along with that. That sounds good. I'm going to dominate over something or somebody, right? And then women fell into the role of being dominated. And also, though, we have to realize the suppression that went on for so long. And the only possibilities, like women didn't have money, we didn't have freedom, we couldn't have our own name when we, you know, got married. You know, we used to live in matrilineal lines where the name was passed down to the child from the mother, and where it was a matrilineal line, not a patrilineal line. So we have to remember our roots of the 100,000 years of goddess culture times, where men and women lived in equality. Fear was nearly eradicated. That's where all of our modern technology comes from. Paved roads, indoor plumbing, architecture, all comes from that 100,000 year period of goddess culture times, where the goddess was revered and the goddess was the deity. Women were honored and revered, and men and women lived in equality. And so we're retrieving our women's wisdom, we're retrieving our women's voice. But I see so many women still living in that sanctimonious way of the, you know, their inferiority issues, making them act superior to everyone. Like we've got to unpack that superiority bullshit and realize that anybody you're trying to do that with, they're not creating anything in the world. So anybody you're trying to impress, those are the narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths that have been running the old paradigm. They're not real people, so to speak. Like narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths aren't really real people. Like the real people that are doing things are not worried about what you're doing, and they're not competing with you, and they're happy for your success. If you look at somebody who is healthy and who is authentic and who is not a psychopath, or a narcissist or a sociopath, they are happy for other people's success. They want for other women's success. They want to be in a society of leaders amongst the leaders, of autonomous beings amongst autonomous beings. And this is this Aries North Node about autonomy, or you can say sovereignty. People love the word sovereignty, but the real meaning that we want is autonomy from externals, from some other authority, your own connection to your own inner authority. And Saturn being authority, coming from soul, coming from something sacred, something meaningful, something higher, that all that is Pisces. So this Garden of Eden story says that, Adam blamed Eve for eating the apple, and so he's not taking responsibility and blaming the woman. And then the woman, she decides to be guilty and go into that guilt, and I must atone for that, so I must self-sacrifice, which is all that Virgo bullshit, and Virgo shadow. And every sign has shadow and light, just consciousness and the unconscious, static side, and is atoning, and so then is going into subservience. Well, Lilith said, no, I will only be in a partnership with equality. And so of course she was demonized. And so we have to realize, as women are rising up everywhere, the patriarchy doesn't like this. So the patriarchy within whatever being it is in, and again, it's in men, it's in women, it's in all humans out there. So it is not liking it very much. It is triggered, it is lashing out, it is trying to dominate and establish its authority and its domination over other people in whatever milieu and whatever way it can do that. And so you don't need to be afraid of that in any way. If you just see it for what it is and just realize it's just gnats to the light, it's just gnats. Yep. They're going to be roaring and really upset on the way out. We're changing the world, and you have to realize that we don't need to fight. We've already infiltrated the patriarchy by being born at this time. So you've infiltrated by simply being awakening within the system and creating a whole new system, and all of us are doing that together. So Lilith conjunct this new moon is so much about no longer being subservient, requiring partnership and equality within partnership, which means that we must dismantle all of these Libra South Node issues of codependency, people pleasing, being fair to others over ourselves, our social belonging issues. Libra is about, we have to understand that Saturn is exalted in Libra. And why is that the case? Because it's about, Libra is the politician. It's the chameleon. It can charm you and smooth with anybody and charm the room and work the room. And it's the politician. It can say what it needs to say to get into the doors it needs to get into and go where it needs to go. It's aesthetics, it's optics, it's how things appear versus what they actually are. And so you have to realize that illusion going on, that there is a positive side to all of that. There's a positive side to being able to code switch and talk to any person and help them to feel heard and seen. But can you do that being your authentic self? Or are you being a chameleon into, different versions of you that aren't really you? So here's this thread of this authenticity, this unique self that you are, Leo, this unique identity of your individualism, your unique individual self. Can you do that and not chameleon into somebody else to get into the rooms? Can you get into the rooms and the doors that you need to, or start to discern that maybe I thought I needed to get into these rooms and doors all this time because I was told and conditioned and socialized to believe that this is what was important. Society, greater, best, better, Hollywood and all these things. Hollywood is a $34 billion sex trafficking business. Yes, I know not all of Hollywood, but we got to be real about what's, the truth about what's going on in the world. And, you don't have to put so much of it in your brain, but we got to be eyes open and understand what these archetypes are about. Libra archetype is about shedding how we have contorted ourselves to belong in groups and with people who we're not actually connected to and vibing with at a soul level at all. And have you done that work yet in your life? Because a lot of this is relationships exploding. We've had all of this past period of so many transits going on where it has changed and broken up so many people. This nodal axis shift on the 18th of July closed chapters. A lot of people have moved on from relationships or are getting getting divorces. A lot of people are realizing I've not been true to myself, and so this partnership is actually no longer right for me, because it was never at this. So I mean, it may have served for that time in your life, what have you, but and so I hope that makes sense, that this Libra is so much about how, there's a purpose in place for behaviors, but how is it being used? And so this Lilith about standing up and requiring equality in all of your partnerships and relationships of all kinds, with the bank, with the person you deal with at stores, requiring, a certain, I've just had so many, you'll probably go through so many experiences or have gone through some experiences where it's like, almost like you're getting these opportunities. You could call them tests, but really I just call them opportunities to step into the next level of my power, step into the next level of my voice. Am I going to speak up? Because Aries speaks up. Aries is not afraid to be assertive. It doesn't care if you think it's aggressive. Aries is confident. It doesn't care if you think it's arrogant. It doesn't care what you think. Libra cares way too much about what everybody thinks. It's always like, what does everybody think? What does everybody think? Oh my God, what do they think? What do they think? What do they think? You've got to let go of every little piece of that within your consciousness if we are ever going to move society forward and freaking evolve here on this planet. And so many of us are doing that and have done it. And so those of you that have been stripping away these layers of giving a fuck what other people think, you get it, and how it is going through that process of like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was carrying over in this area of my life. And I didn't realize I was like thinking about it over here. The other thing to be aware of with this Libra South Node is that the mind has been super activated. Your mind is going to be extra for like 18 months. So you really got to have your tools to deal with your mind in a way that is effective. And those are the tools I teach in group coaching and in one-on-one coaching. So, so you can really understand here that this South Node, this nodal axis shift is really, really important. The nodes at the time of this new moon have moved to 26. It's conjunct Eris. So this North Node is conjuncting Eris opposite to the South Node, challenging us to stand in our power and our courage to be our authentic self and stop fighting. Eris is about, at first she fought and she fought and she fought everybody, and she wanted to seek revenge and do all of this for all of the harm that was done to her and her family. And at some point she realized, like, I'm just becoming just like them. I have to do something different here. And she stood in her power. She spoke her voice, and she realized what she could do in the world. And she did something different than that, than fighting. And if you notice, all of the movies are portraying women in all these roles that they didn't before, but they're just portraying them in the same old patriarchal victim, villain, savior complex type of roles. So the plots haven't changed. Wonder Woman was bullshit. I didn't fucking go see that shit because I knew it was just a woman in the same role as a man. And like saying like a woman's going to have all these superpowers, but she's just going to go out to use them to war and fight. No, that's not what we do with telepathy and intuition and so forth. And you have these powers, so what are you using them to create in the world? Are you creating a massive value to help humanity evolve in this world, to help humanity liberate from all of the old control mechanisms? And most of the control mechanisms are thoughts, are paradigms under which you've been living and believing, and the ways in which you think you have to live in the world and be in the world. And also realize that this is conjunct Chiron, and Chiron and Aries is the wound that we're healing, but also our power that we're retrieving from being wounded in the first place. It's so much related to to our powerlessness, where we feel powerlessness and where we feel like the victim and feel helpless. And it's in this Aries, our ability to speak our voice as women. Women have been silenced in a million micro ways, a million subliminal ways, of course, in all of the macro, obvious, big ways. But as society shifted and women started regaining rights and reclaiming their power all along these last so many decades, particularly in all these ways, the patriarchy had to find more subliminal ways to function and to do what it's doing, right? And so it's like death by a million paper cuts. It's all these micro tiny ways of disempowerment and silencing our voice. And so we have to realize that we have to speak. The light speaks up. You have to speak up every chance you get to speak, and you are guaranteed, I'm guaranteeing you're being given chances to speak. So this Lilith here, so important. And then Venus has been going retrograde this summer, and it's a really big deal. And she's retrograding away from this new moon, but so it's a separating conjunction. It's not as powerful, but the whole thing is powerful because this is all about women. And this is also about women, our prosperity, our money, our ability to be powerful in the world, our current exchange. So many of you push away money issues, but you got to stop that and realize that you must own property with water sources and money in this world. You have to have money as a woman because that's our current exchange of value. And so that's the way that you can act in the world and be a powerful force for good in the world, is by having money. So stop giving away money, deal with your money bullshit, stop being guilty about spending money. Sometimes I see women where they're like, oh, I'm spending money and this and that. And it's like, stop doing that guilt stuff. That's the Garden of Eden bullshit, where the woman took on the guilt for spending that, for eating that. Stop doing that guilt stuff. Be proud of having money as a woman. Stop shrinking about having money or power or land or anything good in your life. Own it and be proud to have good things in your life. It is only an energetic, psychic realm fear that's going on where the abuse is happening at those levels. I know that's not true for everyone in every country, but this is so much of what we're dealing with as women. As we're really dealing with fear, like either you're not managing your mind and your emotions, and there's some healing there needed to be done, or it's at the psychic energetic level. And it's really understanding that there's nothing they can do to you. And it's really starting to learn how to put up those energetic boundaries and to just own your light, own your space, own your voice as a woman, start speaking, start being a powerful woman in this world, start being an evolved woman in this world. Require other people, if they want access to you, they need to be evolved as well. They need to be doing the inner work as well. They need to be speaking up as well. They need to not be kowtowing and towing the line of the patriarchy either. And women are really coming together in all of these ways of wanting nourishment with other women. And so we must gather together in female community. And it is everywhere. Women are gathering together everywhere. Find places to gather with other women and to be with other women, because we are just helping each other heal so much by being at the well together again. We've lost in our society, the way our culture is, we've lost these times where we were naturally at the well together. And so we would have these times where we would just naturally form bonds and friendships, and with people that we connected with deeply and truly. And we were bonded at deep levels because we are sharing our lives together, our sorrows and our travails, and also our triumphs and our wins. And we need to do that again. We need to go to the well as women and come together and have these reasons why we're forced into these situations, so to speak, where we start forming bonds and great connections again and become a strong female community across the globe. This is so vital. It's so crucial. Not all of us are going to vibe with each other, but we've got to stop and realize our own triggers are the doorways into our own healing, and stop projecting them all over other women, and own our own triggers, own our own projections, own your own shadow, own your own shit. because it's the only way you're going to heal it. If you don't deal with that inferiority issues or the feelings of inadequacy that are coming up because you see other women doing something powerful, or their light triggers you and then you feel inadequate and you blame it on them, then you are basically, cheating yourself out of your own empowerment and healing and up leveling at the highest levels that you can be in your life, because you're blaming what's actually in you on somebody else. And it's not going to ever allow you to actually heal the stuff within you. I've seen women do transformational work for 20 years and never actually go in and heal the inner stuff. And that's the work I do with women in 6 months. I see woman after woman after woman. It's like, I've healed more in 6 months than I did in 10 years of therapy. That is one of my most common testimonials. So I'm telling you, we've got to come together in female community and stop projecting all our shit all over everybody else and other women, and instead celebrate each other's greatness so that we can realize all the greatness that we can step into ourselves. We have our own greatness to step into, and seeing other women and celebrating their greatness allows us to realize it within ourselves as well, to come together and to peel apart this competition bullshit. And so this Venus in retrograde has been the feminine light coming back upon the earth. Venus taking these 3 passes through this section of Leo, saying, create, procreate, speak in the world, creatively self-actualize, asking the feminine to creatively self-actualize, asking the feminine to anchor the light of the feminine into society, into social structures, into the world, period. Like, it's in your face, it's here, it's not going anywhere. Deal with it. Everyone else needs to deal with it. In other words, like the psychopath, sociopath, and narcissist need to deal with it. No, things are changing. Things are changing, homeboys. And patriarchal men, like, no tolerance policy. Men have to deprogram that shit within their psyche, and they're going to have to if they want an evolved woman. And at the rate that women are awakening, all women are somewhere on that journey. And so if they want a woman in their lives, they're going to have to do that work, because women are not tolerating it anymore. We're not tolerating it. We don't need men anymore. And this is what's so important about you having money. Venus is all about money. It is about material possessions. It is about that, but that doesn't mean it's any less sacred. And coming from this place of sacredness, of reclaiming our power, you have to understand the witch trials, 9 million women died. That was a land grab for our prosperity and our wealth. We have to call out these things for what they really actually were and understand what they actually were, so we can reclaim our own female lineage, reclaim our own female her story, and know what our own her story is. Because it's not Western civilization. That's bullshit history that's sold to us. War and all of these generals, all of these men. Where is a woman's perspective of life? Where is woman's view? Where's woman's experience of life? And we're here now to put that into the world, and it's everywhere. Women have been doing it everywhere. It's just been hidden, and it's been relegated to the back rooms of women's studies. But women are coming out and speaking and doing their important work. So do your important work in this world. Speak your voice. Stand in your autonomy. Don't tolerate the bullshit anymore. Deprogram your psyche. This is what this stuff is about. And we are doing it. We are doing it together, coming together in female community. Venus is about having prosperity as a woman, being strong and in your power and having money, but not from a place of superiority. No one has any reason to be superior to anyone else. Everyone is on this journey of soul and is smacked constantly with progressive soul learning, because that can only happen through experience. It does not happen with thinking. And remember, the mind is super activated with this Libra South Node. So this stellium of Leo, this creativity and fun and play and being in your heart, like, remembering joy, trust joy. This new moon is saying, trust joy, trust your intuition, follow that. That is the answer to money. That is the answer to soulmate relationships. That is the answer to reclaiming your power. That is the answer to every problem you have, is reclaim your joy, trust joy to lead you to the right place. This is what this new moon is so much saying here. And square Uranus, all about awakening. Uranus is about breaking free from the past. Uranus is about breaking free from the control of fear. Uranus is about breaking free from the status quo and the consensus and the way it's been. Uranus is about awakening and individuating, being your own autonomous Aries North Node self. So, and it's an exact square to this new moon. It is so massively important. And Jupiter is expanding this energy because Jupiter's in Taurus, you know, co-present with Uranus in Taurus, is expanding this energy of awakening, individuating, breaking free from the past, breaking free from your old conditioning and the old mental junk of this Libra South node, you know, all of the old ways you thought, and just the mind doing all of the decision making. Stop letting your mind make your decisions and let your heart and intuition, your higher self, make your decisions. This Earth trine with Mars is taking action upon your creative investments. You know, this is Venus, it's investment. This is creative investments. This is, what are you creatively investing in right now at this moment that is growing over the next 8 years? So this is not like so much a seed planting time. We really had that earlier on Sunday, you know, more of a seed planting time. This is really about creating and taking action. Remember, with this Aries North Node, we have to spend the next 18 months intuition action, and getting that thinking whole apparatus out of the fucking equation, because that Libra South Node will keep pumping your mind in a way that's not going to help you, and it'll just sit there and think even more and even more and even more and get more and more details, and it'll never stop. And then be like, this is what we do. Because it's a south node. So the north node is, you know, and it's learning that Libra archetype and what it is good for. It's good for being a diplomatic. It's good for compassion, understanding all ways of seeing. It's good for diversity. You know, we have to use the gifts of it because we need unity through diversity. And this Mercury being conjunct to Mars and ruling this Mars, the dispositor of this Mars at the time of this new moon, is making this Mars super strong in this grand Earth trine. Everything that we're seeing breaking down in society, all the secrets, all of the hidden stuff that we're now seeing, using that as understanding for the truth of what we're actually doing in this world, which is about evolving. You're going to see evolution happening at lightning breaknecking speeds because, you know, Uranus is going to be going into Gemini in 2026, because Pluto is going to be going back into Aquarius next year. You're going to start seeing life move rapidly. Life has been moving rapidly. And so things are changing in this world very, very fast. So it is so important to have your security be from within and not based upon cars, money, houses, relationships, any of these things. And Pluto takes everything away. When we are too identified with these things, Pluto takes that stuff away. And so it's really an encouragement not to be too identified with anything as making you secure or anything making you happy except from within. If you can make yourself joyful from within and feel secure from within, no matter what the situation is, that is your wealth right now. Mars is taking action on humility, on serving humanity. This is what, you know, Virgo is all about, is serving something higher. It's about all of your self-improvement and ability to see how to improve, but you have to clear out the shadow side of that, of the guilt and atonement of Virgo, the self-judgment, and always like, it's never good enough, it's never good enough. Like, the mechanism of Virgo is to make sure the Leo doesn't get out of control, and brings the humility in to move into Libra, where then we partner from that place of, we have a unique individual self, Leo, we know how to create in the world and stand on stage, and we're confident and secure within that. And we have humility, Virgo, and we know how that we need to improve, that everybody always has things to improve, and everybody's always mastering things. We're both at the same time, right? And this Uranus, you know, is making this grand Earth trine a lot more provocative, a lot more provoking, and is so much about awakening and breaking free from the structures and the paradigms. So it's like all the little tiny pockets of disempowerment that you see in yourself, that is a blessing and a gift to be able to see it and be like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Nope, I'm not going to be a victim here anymore. Nope, I'm not going to be disempowered here anymore. Nope, I'm going to deal with this feeling of powerless in this situation. What is this about? And unpack that shit so you can shift it. Because this is about your power as a woman at the highest levels. This is planting a seed for the female community coming together as leaders amongst leaders, rising up so humanity can shift and evolve and move into a destined future, move into the divine future that is no longer of this depravity, no longer controlled by depraved people with depraved agendas, and be something of meaning, something of soul, something of higher. The other thing about Taurus to understand is it's about meaning and your values, and like, are your values based on the patriarchal versions of what's valuable? Money, house, cars, all that shit. It doesn't mean you don't want that stuff or have that stuff. It's like, but it's like, what is you having it based upon? To feel secure, or to feel like you fit in, social belonging issues, Libra, or to feel like you're special, which is the shadow side of Leo, or to feel like you matter, or that you're superior, which is the shadow side of Leo, to feel, you know, like you're superior to others, or you're better than others, or you made it up to some fake false destination that doesn't exist, right? It's like, want to have things because you like it for yourself and you want it. But if it's a status symbol, I would pull that shit apart, because that shit's going to be taken down within you at some point. And if you don't go willingly, it's going to be like a Mack truck. You know, spirit whispers and then it screams, and then it's the Mack truck. And that shit don't feel good. You don't want cataclysmic stuff to teach you the lesson of these false, erroneous things in society that just keep people chasing their tails that actually are not important. So, and this Taurus is like, this Uranus and Taurus square this new moon is asking humanity to wake up from all of the ways you valued things from something that is not sacred, that is not meaningful, that does not matter. And that is somebody else's program within you, so that you will buy more shit from Amazon. So you'll buy more shit from different places that are monopolies, that are weeding out small businesses and trying to control humanity, and trying to be these big controlling entities in the world. So there's nothing to fear. It's just standing up in your power. And I'm not saying, oh, it's just easy, no problem, but you have the skill set to do this. You know, with this Leo, find your joy, create something amazing, and find your happiness, and connect with others who are on that evolved level and are ready to go. I'll tell you, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be around evolved women. I'm ready to be around people who have healed their shit, don't all have all that bullshit in there. And if they do, they know it's theirs. They're not fucking projecting it all over. I'm ready to be around like amazing women doing amazing things at the highest levels. This is what's possible for us right now. So this is a powerful new moon. Do ceremony. I really encourage that. This is the end of part 1. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. And for a limited time, I have a pick your price astrology reading that will not be in effect very much longer. So I would get in on that while you can. if you honestly cannot pay my normal price. So yes, you can book an astrology reading with me at thegoddessastrologer.com. You click top of the page, you can check out my testimonials from other clients and get to know me more there over at that website. I'm going to go into all of the individual signs and the astrology forecast for this new moon and oracle card pulls for this new moon with all 12 signs in part 2. So I'm going to get ready for that. And please like, share, subscribe. If you hit the bell, then you'll be notified whenever the new moon and full moon forecasts come out and whenever episodes about chemical initiations come out. There's a new episode coming out soon. Got really good, amazing interviews that are coming out soon. So look for those because they're so amazing. And so thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing as it helps this reach more women that it can benefit. All right, y'all. So for part 2 of your sun sign horoscopes, you can look at your rising and your sun. So if you look at your sun, it'll be a solar chart, and it's got a chart with a lot of great information in it. So it's really worth looking at. And then look at your rising, and that is your natal. And so those two together will give you a wonderful understanding of what the areas of life are that this new moon are particularly affecting for you. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Aries, new moon for you is 5th house, square, Uranus and Jupiter in the 2nd house, wanting you to break free from all of your old value systems that are holding you down and keeping you from being in this feminine sense of your own unique individuality and creative expression in the world, and you're bringing your unique genius forward. Let me just check something real quick. Not that. Okay, zoom. There we go. All right, good. Now that we got that cleared up, back to Aries. So does that make sense, Aries, that this new moon is taking action about standing on stage in your life? And so if you're Aries rising, you have a lot more Aries power than if you're Aries sun. Aries sun is that you're becoming that archetype. It's not necessarily as naturally to you as if it is your rising, depending on your other placements. But and that's why it's so important to start learning your chart, which you can do with me. So this Lilith here, all of this 5th house, this is romance, children. This is where you stand on stage in your life, bringing your gifts to the world. This is having that synergy where you feel special. You know, it's like, what makes you feel special? And are those things square to Uranus the things that you actually want to have your value placed upon? Somebody else's approval, external validation, other authority outside of you? You know, what is your meaning in this life, and where does that derive from? That's what is really the question that is being called here. And Mars is going to take this baton in the relay race and move this into the world and make this real, and in this grand earth trine. So it's like a Uranus is this awakener. You know, Pluto has shown us all of the important secrets in the world and is disclosing, you know, the old power paradigms and how it's actually just all an illusion. It's not based upon anything that can keep you down unless you don't speak or act. You know, Aries is about acting. And of course, you have the North Node in your 1st house. You have Chiron there for a long time now, and Eris for a long time, about, you know, It's always that way with Aries, but about where are you standing up in your courage to do something different. Aries is outside of the ecliptical. She also is grouped up with other goddesses. So it's like she understands the importance of female community. She understands the importance of community and partnership in general. But then also she's beyond the ecliptic, meaning she's outside the status quo. She doesn't do what everybody else does. And that Libra South Node can hang us up right now, wanting us to do what makes us feel like we belong. So a lot of insecurities are really coming up right now because everyone in humanity is being provoked to look at where their old security was based upon. And so it's insecure to start not belonging, not belonging anymore. And instead just belonging to you and being able to be secure within any place, circumstance, time, space, etc. Being a galactic citizen, you know. So Aries, this fifth house is, how are you bringing your gifts to the world? How are you shining? How are you standing in your confidence and in your power? And where are you taking your prosperity back, making money and breaking free from all the money fears, the money blocks, the scarcity, living in that way, you know, and really finding like the ability to accept and receive. And Jupiter is really expanding this, like wanting to break free and individuate and awaken from old ways you allowed yourself to be valued or derived your value in yourself from, and also to be self-sufficient. Like, where are you standing on your own gifts and talents within you in the world? Because this is what this is about as well. Let's pull you some cards, Aries. What wants to come up for Aries? The distraction of shiny things. So just kind of being, it's not a protection message. So it's kind of being all over the place and being in too many lanes, going in too many directions, not picking a direction and really initiating forward, which is what that Aries energy is really good at doing, is lighting the match, you know, catalyzing something, starting something, shift the way to new potential, which means take the action. You have to do it. It's not going to be like, I'm waiting for the divine to do something, or I'm waiting for something to change. You have to act and go change it. You have to change inside you, and you have to act outside of you. You're the ones that's going to shift the way, but the new potential is right here waiting for you. But this is why we're on the earthly plane, to actually act. And you got fierce serenity. And it's about so much of holding peace and joy within yourself, like not allowing what's inside of you and how you feel, the experience of life that you want to have, waver, you know, with whatever other people are doing or saying. And that's that shedding that Libra shadow and being in that Aries North Node, of being able to be very clear on who you are and your sense of peace inside yourself, your sense of not letting anyone get you off your vision, your mission, your agenda, your path. Everybody's got their agenda and they're coming at you with their agenda. And, you know, are you staying on vision? So really, really powerful. Last card for you is lead your metamorphosis. I had a feeling this was coming up with this card. I just felt this card as well. And it's in a protection message. And there's this resistance to wanting to act. And it's saying that a part of acting is being able to make sure you're fully resourced woman. Pleasure, play, stillness. We need all of those things. We need stimulation and we need connection. We need so many things. It's like, are you giving yourself all those things? Or are you kind of in a bardo and just waiting? And so it's like, you need to take the way, stop being distracted, focus in what is the thing that, you know, you want to move towards, and you lead that. You lead the changes and take the action. You got this, Aries. So make something beautiful in this world. You got this. All right, Taurus. Uranus and Jupiter in your first house. Square this new moon in your fourth house. This is the house of the moon, house correlated to Cancer, all about security and self-image. And so this new moon is a new confident self-image, a new image. And again, think of all of these factors of Lilith, of standing in your power, requiring partnership and equality for people to have access to you. Leo, about this feminine light, about the heart, about higher love, and about being led from that place, and your self-image being based upon something higher and sacred and happy and joyful from within you, remembering that this society is based on masochism and guilt and atonement. And if you dig, you'll find that all through society. The Garden of Eden is that story, the blame, the guilt, the victim, villain, savior, all of the learned helplessness in this culture. Jesus dying on the cross, talk about sadomasochism, S&M, just getting paid less as a woman, like accepting that bullshit. It's like, stand up and stand in your power and really step into, I would journal about what is this new version of you that you're stepping into. And I bet you have felt a new, like this new moon is a lot more of a birthing than a visioning. It is like a manifestation, because we have this grand Earth trine, and while it is Pluto, Uranus, and Mars, it's Mars. So this is really a birthing into the world, what this is. And so it's like more like anchor this in, anchor in these changes, anchor in who you are today, and everything that you've shifted and changed, and the power that you are now standing in. So anchor this and act. Make sure you act for humanity on the power that you've gained. You don't want to waste this and let it just get watered down with all this Neptune energy here and this Pisces energy. And so this Uranus is in that first house of, of this, just very much of this I am energy, this identity. Think about all the identities that you've taken on. Do you like them? And are there any ADHD or this illness or this, role in the world? Like people take on all these different identities, of like addict and all these things, but do you want that identity anymore? Does it serve you now? Or is it now serving to keep you limited and stuck? We are here to evolve. And so has your identities evolved? And are you still claiming identities that actually are just keeping you stuck and in old patterns that are done? So definitely, we have all of these trines from this new moon to your 12th house. And it's where the North Node is, and acting on soul, acting on completion of old cycles and endings of old patterns, old cycles, 15-year cycles, 8-year cycles, 4-year cycles. And really standing in your autonomy and your power in the psychic energetic realms. So making sure that you act and take initiative in the psychic energetic realms on the information that you are getting correct data. Energy does not lie. So trust energy. Energy does not lie. Make sure you are invoking that creative self-image into the world, your new place of emotions. Like, create your experience of life with your emotions. So use this beautiful Leo energy to decide what your experience of life is going to be. And, where's the joy? Do you trust joy? All right, Taurus, you got one step ahead is all you need. It's just taking one micro step. Make sure to take action, because that's what's going to create clarity and understanding about each step along the way. It's not looking at the whole big picture that's going to help you right now, not with this Libra South node. So I would really keep off trying to understand the whole picture at once, or trying to make these big moves, and really make very concentrated, specific, deliberate, smaller steps to inform every part of your journey along the way right now, because you're going to have so much power in doing that. And you got the now card again with the mind is really controlling the mind and not letting your mind run amok. Watch the first half. I talk about the Libra South Node. And so it's all right there for you. Go back and check that out, because it's so important that you are not fearing and bracing for the bad and fearing the future and back in the past and all of that. Do you have effective tools and strategies to handle the mind? I teach that one-to-one coaching, teach that in group coaching, because if you don't, the mind's going to do you in, and the mind's going to puppet you around right now. So just always, I would be checking in, like, is my mind puppeting me around? Am I not doing something to my mind, or am I doing something it's not really what I want to be doing in life because my mind? Accept and receive in a protection message. So there's something here about not being able to believe that you deserve it, or that you get to have it, or that it's coming for you, that you are doing the work and it is happening, and you have fearless expression coming on the heels of this accept and receive. And so it's like fearlessly express who you are, your true voice, your unique self. It's needed in the world. And you don't have to be scared anymore of doing that. It doesn't mean it's all going to be really easy. There will be challenges, but you can handle those challenges with the North Node and Aries in the 12th house. That is asking you to understand that you need to have courage in the psychic dimensions. You need to have courage in the energetic realms with all of the energetic vampires out there. Just remember, they're just gnats to the light. They're just trying to get the light. Of course they would want the light. Of course they would want into the light. They can't create it themselves, right? So of course they'd want that good energy. So this is a beautiful reading, Taurus. Powerful. You got this. I'm sending you so much love. You can book an astrology reading at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Gemini. New moon for you in 3rd house, square Uranus and Jupiter in your 12th house, and really wanting to break free from all of the past life traumas that are limiting you and shrinking you and making you shrink, making you feel scared. Also from any of the energetic psychic realm attacks, or vampires, or people just constantly wanting to like suck your energy, or wanting to the feeling of being affected in those realms. It's wanting you to really be courageous and stand up in your power and break free from the difficulties there. Stand in your power with other people and be courageous to own your autonomy with other people within groups, and break free from fear, from old ways of handling it. This is really being super creative with your mind, your intellectual property, what you create in the world, your ideas, your paradigms that you're shifting, and really understanding like that feminine power and standing in your power, standing in your confidence mentally in your mind, which will create confidence in every other area of your life, right? And this is really having a very confident message in your business, in all of your copy and your marketing. This is having a very clear understanding, crisp and clear mental focus on all the intellectual property you're making, your programs and workshops, and all of the things you're doing in your business. And being very creative and fun and playful in those realms. Like, bring the play and the joy into that. And remember, Mars is kind of taking this relay baton and moving it out into the world in the area of your self-image and how you carry yourself and how you present, and also in your emotional state, which then manifests, right? So Pluto is here in this 8th house, clearing up a lot of debris and uncovering a lot of emotional issues that can then help to clear this out and heal this stuff that is just coming to completion. A lot of chapters closing. It can be a difficult time with chapters closing and things kind of completing. So let that be okay. But it's very much focused on what you're creating. In balance is the card you got. And remember that balance is all about micro course corrections. It's not static, because static is stagnation, and really bringing back things into, any extremes that you've gotten into, getting out of the extremes and bringing back into the middle way, the middle path, fearless expression, being bold, and really putting yourself out there, really stepping into the next version of your message, yourself, who you are, being bold, being confident, and really just expressing yourself at all. Like, are you not expressing yourself at all? I'm just talking about in your relationships. Where do you like stop yourself from wanting to say something and you don't say it because you're afraid of what they'll think, what they'll do, how they'll react? That's what you've got to put the kibosh on. You've got collaboration of souls. Work with other people. Where can you find people who are like-minded, a vibe match, and doing having the same value system as you, or people to actually partner with, collaborate with in business, or in friendship, just finding those people that are really like-minded and have a positive vibe match. Nourish the sacred feminine in a protection message. So it's saying that there's really this ignoring your needs as a woman, ignoring the heart, ignoring the intuition, and coming back into that intuition. So important when you need a shower, when you need sleep, when you need rest, when you need stimulation and play and creativity, when you need novelty. Make sure you are filling your cup up and being a fully resourced woman and listening to that small inner voice, really quieting the mind down. With Gemini, it's an air sign already. And then with the activated South Node, it can activate the mind even further. And so really quieting down the mind to hear the sacred feminine within and what she needs and connect with that. Are you taking time each day to connect with that? This is an important time for women. This is no joke. This is a really massive, big shift in the world. And as women rise up all across the world, it is doing something to the morphogenic field of the collective female community and as a whole. So things are shifting so much for all of us. And we need to keep adding to the morphogenic field the vision for our liberation and our freedom and standing up into our power and our confidence without the superiority issues, without all the inner muck, but like having really been healed, healing ourselves, doing that inner work. And understanding that it's like exercise. You don't just like go, oh yeah, well, I already exercised. Well, I already exercised for 2 years. Exercise is something you have to keep doing, and the same is true for inner work. Maybe take the work word away and like, inner self-development or inner, cultivation of your power, however you want to look at it, but it's a lifestyle. And I hear a lot of people complaining right now about like, I've already done this, I have to do more. And it's like, if you just really reorientate, shift the gear to like, this is a lifestyle. And actually this is amazing. Doesn't mean you can't take breaks sometimes when it's intense. But if you can look at it as this is amazing because I'm evolving as human, I'm like participating in the evolution of humanity here, really changing something big. That's massive. It's so massive. So sending you so much love, Gemini. You got this. You can do this. Really create the experience that you want to have with your mind. And you can book an astrology reading at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Cancer. Cancer, new moon for you is happening in your second house. This is a reclamation of your power to create, to be autonomous and confident, and to speak your voice, be on stage in your life, bring your gifts to your life. In the second house, all about money. It's about creation, your value system. It's about doing something of meaning and finding meaning and purpose in the world. And so it's really of like, where is this, what is your value system and what are they based upon? This is a time to base them upon your feminine light and your feminine genius and your beauty and the gifts and talents that you have. This is a time to really connect to the gifts and the talents and the skill sets that you have within you. That is what that second house is all about, is really understanding the resources within you and really going to the Jupiter, Uranus, co-presence in Taurus in the 11th house. That square is your collaborations, your audience, being in the world and being of service to humanity, doing something higher for humanity. It's wanting you to take action on your creative gifts, on what is inside of you to create. And there's something about fearless expression of yourself. It's something about being self-sufficient. You know, where are you not being in your highest level of self-sufficiency, and where are any of those pockets of disempowerment or powerlessness or helplessness, learned helplessness? It's really important to shore that up. Really bring your light, like bring your power, bring your confidence into your relationship to money. And this is a time to reestablish like a new relationship to money that's confident, powerful, believing, out of the scarcity and lack, and really requiring equal partnership in all these areas of your life that are dealing with money, with dealing with your value in any way. You know, anybody that's in a relationship with you in any way, they value you or they don't. And so are they valuing you at the level that you require? And are you requiring a high enough level of value? Are you valuing yourself at that high enough level? And, you know, this Aries North Node is in your 10th house with Eris and Chiron, and so much about reclaiming your power, taking up space in the world as an autonomous being unto yourself. That Cancer can sometimes only know its power through ancestral lines, through the group, through the family. And it's really about having it can just be so preoccupied with self-preservation, but it's about really standing as a unique self and owning your talents and gifts and abilities in this world. Mars and Virgo, this grand trine Earth and your 3rd house, like taking action in the way you think about things, which is going to change everything. This Pluto in the 7th house of your relationships, it's like a lot is being revealed to you in your relationships about whether they're worthy of you or not, whether they're good for you or not. And you're having a lot of questions. The question is the answer. If you're having questions there, that tells you everything. Also realize that the Libra South Node can be overactive. And so don't let that tell you bullshit, because it can and it will right now. So you got prosperity's sisters are happiness and joy. This card all about manifesting from the highest frequency, trusting joy to take you to the right place, of prosperity, of being successful in life, being accomplished, doing the things that you want to do, bringing value to humanity and making money for that. So understanding that joy is so important to create from, valuing joy. And have you gotten too curmudgeonly in some way? Have you gotten too like restricted, tight, like hard work? I just need to focus. I need to do all these things. It's not that those things don't have their place, but if it's always that way and it's not coming from joy at all, what else is going on here, Cancer? So you got befriend the word polarize, that maybe too much of the depression of the world, the depravity in the world, or the darkness, the difficult things you're seeing in the media are maybe bringing you down. And it's about holding two disparate things, holding many disparate things all at once are happening. There is the 5D frequency, the higher frequencies, the higher ability to be in joy and happiness, even while there's very difficult things happening on this planet, and being able to be eyes open and not affected by that, because you're only powerful when you can be effective and powerful and acting and joyful and happy. That's when you're effective. And so it's not forgetting about all these things and being superior and above it and like having this life where it's like, oh, this doesn't exist. It's about being eyes open and like, I can affect change here by affecting the people that it's my mission and vision and sacred calling to work with and to affect change on this planet with. And that's how I can affect change for the whole. And so it's really coming from a whole different perspective. You got one step ahead is all you need. So don't worry about the longer vision. Just really take dedicated second house steps on your gifts, talents, and abilities, your projects, everything you want to do. Take little, small, dedicated, determined second house steps, because it will show you everything you need to know about the next step and the next step. And it will be powerful. It will really make a difference. Lead your metamorphosis, Cancer. You have to lead it. You have to believe that it will shift. You can't wait for the shift to come from outside of you. You have to shift the way and lead your metamorphosis, lead your transformation into the butterfly, into the whole new being. And so what does that look like? What does that actually mean for you? What is the step that you need to initiate? There's resistance here, maybe getting some Reiki around it, some energy work around it would be good. And you got fearless self-expression. This is coming up really big in the collective right now, of women speaking our voice. Just know you have women all around the world who are speaking their voice too, even when they feel fear, even when they don't feel courage, even when they feel vulnerable, etc. So you be one of those women as well, speaking, and we are all this community of women around the globe speaking. This is such an important message, but this is important within your life, but also to the collective of the female community right now. So please speak your voice, Cancer. All right, sending you so much love. You can book an astrology reading at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Leo. So this all in your first house. This new moon, as I've been saying, is so much more than a like new moon visioning new moon. This is really the acting upon. This is the launching forward, the procreation into the world of what you've been working on for a really long time. Something has shifted, things have changed, and now it's an enacting of this new chapter, this new version of yourself, this new project. And in the first house, it's all about your identities and who you are. And so, like, what identities have you shed that you no longer are? Do you have names for the new ones? Are you a creator? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you an artist? Are you a a craftsperson? What do you do? And this Mars then in the second house, like, takes the relay baton and moves it out into the world. And this Mercury, dispositor to that Mars, is invoking manifestation in the world with this grand earth trine. Pluto is showing a lot of the secrets to the day-to-day lifestyle that are not working out for you and that just are not making you happy. And this is about bringing joy again into your identity, into who you are, and to really like seeing the like amazing, fierce person that is confident in this beautiful light in the world, that is a good example in the world of how to create, how to be at your highest level of enthusiasm and joy, and that joy does lead you to the right place. And it's an unraveling of all these other ways you've been doing it that haven't been serving you, and maybe did at one time but are no longer part of your journey anymore. And can you shed those and let those go now? This is reclaiming more of your feminine power, letting the feminine be powerful enough to create all your results in this world. Really different orientation there, Leo. And this square to Uranus, breaking free from the past in your business, how you've done things in the past that are not a part of this new version of yourself, this new identity, first house, of who you are now and who you're invoking and becoming now, after you've shed so much and been through so much. And a lot of cycles are coming to an end. 8-year cycles ended, 15-year cycles ending next year. A 4-year cycle has ended. So these cycles have come to an end and a close, and these chapters have begun. And so this is really an invocation into the world, breaking free from the past, breaking free from consensus status quo or what you think you have to do. And yes, you may be very think you're very much separated from all of that, but look at the places where you're not. There's always pockets where you are not individuated, where you are not breaking free from groupthink and all of these things, where it's time to look at that. because this is about taking action. It's a square. There's pressure here. You'll probably feel where the pressure is in your life. Where you feel challenged is somewhere where you're probably kowtowing and towing the line of the consensus, and it's asking you to break free from that. And this will be an expanded awareness of this. So really powerful shift of this new version of yourself that is time to be confident with that in the world. So what wants to come up for you, Leo, in the cards? Follow through. So let's see what this is about, Leo. So unstick the stuck in a protection message. So this follow through is wanting to carry this invocation of this unique new version of yourself into the world all the way through to completion. That Leo mental focus, that, you know, creative drive of that joy. Unstick the stuck of in a protection message, saying that there's like some sort of resistance to moving out into this new version of yourself, or to fully committing to moving out of the old comfortable places. And maybe you've shed so much that it's just like, gosh, like, what am I at all anymore that I recognize from the past? And just letting that go. Can you let all of that go to be a completely unique being that maybe you have to get to know all over again? And maybe that could be really fun because you have the now moment. What is going on for you right now in this moment? This mind is activated by the Libra South Node. You've got to quell the mind, and you think you might have it down, but it is just taking us all on a ride constantly. So it's like, be on top of your game in that way. Be in this moment here. What do you really want? X marks the spot. Like, what do you really want? And let that guide what is happening in this now moment, and what is, where the direction is that you go. So it's really wanting you to, there's some sort of equivocation and back and forth vacillating here. It's wanting you to really get focused on the actual thing that you want and be in this moment right now, and stop thinking about the future and how it's going to feel in the future, but like, how is it going to feel right now? And move through and just follow through with that. All right, Leo, powerful reading, sending you so much love. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do it at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Virgo. This is the new moon in the 12th house, square Uranus and Jupiter in the 9th. And it's so much about a completion here. There's a completion coming. There's chapters that have been closing. And so there is new things beginning, but this is a hard, challenging time right now, most likely, of things ending and completing. And so it can feel very much like you are just in it, like in the underworld right now, going through a lot, shedding layers, purging out old things. This is also a planting of the seed of dreams and imagination, and really stepping into your connection to the all that is, really stepping into the other dimensions and being connected in the psychic energetic realms. Like, where are you reclaiming your power in the psychic energetic realms and creating your world with your imagination? This is so much more for you in the ethers than in the tangible. But however, what you create there will pop out into the tangible world, and will have everything to do with your sense of autonomy and independence in this world. And so it's so important to be very conscious of your imagination and what you're letting it create, because it is creating it into the world, and it's creating it fast. It's happening really fast, as Pluto has really shown you a lot in like how you are shrinking, how you're doing courageous things and bringing your gifts to the world, and where you're not, and is wanting you to stand up into this next upgrade. And so this Aries is is this North Node, and this Aries is really like pumping your 8th house to connect to the spiritual reason for everything existing, and being able to move through the psychological subconscious patterns and issues and work through them. It is some inner work here for sure, but on the other side of this, it's going to be super powerful. So just greet that inner work with enthusiasm, that Leo passion and fun, because it will help you. Greater water emotions. You got to feel those emotions and release them. Emotions drive behavior. So what emotions are you rejecting, pushing down, trying to escape from? Your epic. So it's really understanding the power that you have in this life to make a difference, to like really honor the amazingness of who you are. And are you doing that? Like, are you connected to that? Do you believe in your own greatness, your own feminine genius? Are you connected to being standing in your power, or are you shrinking in certain ways? I just keep getting this thread about feeling scared, and so really not shining as brightly as you could, being scared of things, and like maybe the energetic or psychic realms. And it is a learning that has to take place. You, the muse, realizing that the inspiration comes from within you, not from external. Stop trying to get it from everywhere else and feel like you want to do all the projects and do all the things and get that from the outside in. You have to create and generate, feeling like doing it, feeling inspired, taking action, being intentional and focused, all from within you. Not saying it's easy. However, it is power. It is your power. And so taking back that power and refusing to let the externals have it. And you have inflow with money. And so just flowing in money and bringing that in and creating that and manifesting that and allowing your revenue to increase, being in the abundance mentality, being in the prosperity, knowing it, believing it. So really powerful reading for you, Virgo, sending you so much love. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, y'all. Libra, this new moon for you is in your 11th house of your collaborations, of friendships. This new moon is asking you, with Uranus and Jupiter here in your 8th, it's asking you to awaken and bring that spiritual part of life forward into your creations and to everything you do, and to reclaim your power to create the world as you want it to be. It's asking and saying you must bring your gifts to the world, invoke your power to stand on stage in your life, to bring your feminine voice to this world, and to be powerful in that, and to know anything that it looks like out in the world is not the way it's supposed to look from you. You have your own unique transmission that is needed. It's important, and it's very unique and powerful. However, if you don't believe in it and you don't invoke it, then no one can be affected by that for the better. And it is needed in this world. Pluto is churning up everything around home and emotions and family for you to establish a new self-image based on something purified, based on something of soul, of something of higher meaning. And it's creating this grand earth trine with this Mars and the 12th, and with Mercury there dispositing this Mars. It's this really powerful invoking into the world what you're ready to do, connecting with friends, establishing yourself as a presence in the world, of sharing your beautiful gifts, talents, abilities, and skills. What are you sharing in the world? Where is the magic within you? How are you building your audience and growing your audience? It's time to believe that into existence, to create that, to be participating in that daily, to be in the fun and the joy of it. So there's so much here about your audience building in your business, connecting to friends, collaborating, meeting amazing groups of people, and participating in groups, creating groups possibly. So it's very much about reclaiming your power as a creator in this realm of creating amazing friendships, creating amazing groups and collaborations, and breaking free from your old ways of being in relationships with subconscious material that may be coming up and wanting to limit you or block you. Really clearing that out. So important here, Libra. Okay, what do the cards have to say for you, Libra? Creator alchemy. So wanting you to really step into the truth that you created and be in it. And like, it was like weird in your astrology reading, I just kept getting of like really claiming your empowerment. It's like something about like, you have to believe it, stand in that presence within yourself. It's a different kind of orientation within your own being, within your psyche, within your mind, within your emotions, how you think, how you're showing up in the world, the energy you're showing up with. It's a different stance of like, I'm creating the world rather than waiting for it to happen to you, rather than waiting for something to change. It's you invoking what you want to be in this world, who you want to be, what you want to make happen. You're making it happen. And so it's like, it's a reclamation of empowerment. You know, power sounds like an airy fairy word. Sometimes it's hard to connect to, like, what is my power? But you're feeling powerful, feeling capable, feeling intentional, feeling like you're invoking and acting upon something and creating it in this world. Creator fire, take action, initiate, take action, initiate. It's like, remember that you absolutely can create whatever it is you want to create. Take the action, initiate, stop thinking about it and just do. Realize this Libra South node is on your Libra stuff. You know, it's really activated the mind heavy. You already have that. It's extra. It's you've got to have a way to work with your mind. Creator earth means that you're just taking action to create that tangible into this world, manifest it into the tangible world, make things real. You must make things real and ground things into this reality. Change maker, make waves. Remember, you're here to be a big light. Remember the powerful woman that you are, the person that you are, that is incredibly talented and gifted, and bring those talents to the world. Like, make this difference in the world, make this impact, and realize so many of us think we have to make $1 million or do this to be able to make an impact. You know, there's so much you can do in such small ways. Like, people, you know, sell sunglasses and shoes and they give away a pair for every pair that's bought. People sell courses and they give away one course for every course that's bought. There's so many ways that you can impact people's lives today, right now. And so make sure that you step into your power around what you can do. All right, Libra, this is so powerful. Sending you so much love. And if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. Scorpio, 10th house, new moon for you, with the square to Uranus and Jupiter in the 7th. And we're talking all about business and relationships and relationship building. And if you are invoking your sense of confidence and authority and creative invocation in your projects, taking up space in this world, how you stand as a powerful woman in your business. Have you started your business, or are you in the next upgrade, or the project that you're currently birthing and taking to an established place of fruition, of standing in your power, making sure that your partnerships are equitable, making sure that there is that people that have access to deserve to be there. This is a standing in a greater sense of individuality and being unique. This is bringing more joy into your business, bringing more joy into your powerful legacy in this world, and breaking free from relationships that just don't serve you, relationships that have access to you that shouldn't, people that don't have your back, that don't value you. It's wanting, get rid of the hope and stop trying to create clients from hope. That doesn't work. You have to create clients from certainty that they deserve what you offer in this world, and your unique clients, your ICA, that they will benefit from this work that you're doing, and that they deserve to have that, and coming from a really completely different place around that. This Mars and the 11th of making sure to connect with the right groups and talents and people and collaborate and listen to the universe and your higher self and your guides speak to you when they're saying, hey, this person, talk to them. You might not know the reason you need to talk to them. It might be because you have something to learn there, some experience needs to be gained, some piece of information, you need to impart some piece of information, but listen to those and move with the flow of it all, because that's going to be really powerful, because Pluto's been revealing a lot in your mind and how your old mindset wasn't working for you. The way you were thinking about things needed to be needed to evolve and to transition. So this is definitely creating something new within your sphere of relationships. This is individuating from relationships that make you feel safe, but are actually just holding you down and keeping you from shining your light and expressing your voice in this world. This is really important. New moon for you, Scorpio. And creator air, it's all about your mind and how you're thinking, and that Pluto wants to transform and metamorphose your mind and the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you take in information and work with it. And so really understands what's going on in your mind, how you're letting it, what you're letting it do. Is your mind puppeting you around? Integrate your knowing, meaning that you've gotten so much information, learning, lessons, dialogue, books, tools, and now applicationally apply it to your life. We can't just think about it all and have a bunch of concepts. It means nothing. It does nothing. So knowing shit doesn't mean shit. It's when you actually do it. It's when you apply it to your life. It's when you take action. And that's what is asking for here. It's saying too much thinking, but there's no big block around it. Fierce serenity, holding the steady sense of, this is what lights me up. This is who I am. This is my peace inside yourself that is unwavering, that doesn't get sloshed around by all of the external people, agendas, and all that. Lead your metamorphosis in a protection message saying that you need to be the one taking action. You need to be the one guiding the changes in your life, not expecting it to come to you and just sitting around thinking about it and then having all these tools and being like, yeah, nothing changes. It's so clear. You have to act, get out of your head, actually do, hold a fierce sense of your inner power, strength, ability, amazingness of who you are, and then make sure you're leading the changes in your life rather than expecting them to come to you. And I would do some energy work around it. That'll really help. There's resistance there, and it'll just help break down that resistance. All right, Scorpio, sending you so much love, and you can book an astrology reading with me at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Sag. This new moon for you is in the 9th house. So important about the square to Uranus in the 6th house. This is so much about expansion in your lifestyle and standing in this feminine truth, this beautiful feminine power of your creative gifts, and bringing them into the world, and being in like partnerships that are equal, like only letting people have access to you that have the same value system and that see your light and don't try to tamper, dim, or suck your feminine force field. And standing in the power, it's like taking action on clearing out and individuating from any ways that you made your lifestyle that felt safe or comfortable, or were maybe helpful at one time, but are no longer serving your expansion into creating as this teacher in this world, as this expert, standing in this confident expert in what you're doing in your life, everywhere in your life, like standing in this is a birthing of that. This is really doing this instead of thinking about this. Like, don't think about it anymore. Like, do this grand earth trine rather is with Pluto in the 2nd around your gifts and talents. Like, those have been exposed. Your value systems that suck and that aren't working for you, that's been exposed. You have this Mars and Mercury now in the 10th, like wanting to take action in your business and taking up space in the world around where you are in this new version of yourself that's confident, secure, certain, and powerful and joyful, and standing in your expertise and power in this world. And so then that's invoked into the world and taking action on that to serve humanity. Mars, this Uranus and Jupiter, really expanding this individuation from, this sense of guilt or what you should do or other people's ways of living that just don't serve you anymore, really away from schedules and ways of like lines you thought you had to color in between. This is reclaiming your power here. This is expanding into new lifestyles that support bringing your gifts to the world, this highest level of joy, competence, and just having this mental focus of creating these projects that you're creating in your business and being this powerful woman showing up in this way. Let's pull you some cards. You got the sacred flow of yes and a protection message though. So it's wanting you to realize that things are coming in from the universe, your guides, your higher self, and you're not saying yes to it. You're not aware of it, or you're not seeing it, or there's resistance or fear. So it's energy work. Getting out of the resistance. Resistance is fear. So release it. I teach very specific techniques that work in Light Goddess. So you can reach out to me and learn those through me. Or there's other places, but make sure you're releasing resistance so that you can actually say yes and do the things your higher self is calling you to do, your guides are pointing to, and stop being scared and feared out to grow and evolve. We have to realize that we're either shrinking and staying small, but it feels secure and comfortable and safe and like what we always know, or we're evolving, which feels very insecure and messy and not safe. And so it's like, if you can really start orientating to that as very fun, that will be amazing in your life. You got bliss is worth creating from. And it's just such a beautiful, colorful card. You got all this orange. I would really think about some Reiki on your sacral chakra. And really looking at your sacral chakra and understanding this joy is needed, and this joy of this expansion of ideas, or this adventure, like literally physically going on this adventure, or traveling to expand your consciousness, to expand your awareness. This is wanting to break free from from the limitations that you think you have to stay in your state or your country or your town, and really breaking free and traveling abroad, traveling to other places, maybe being on the go with your business and being more free, or creating a business that allows you to be individuated and be completely location independent. This is so important. And then you have creator water, about feeling emotions. Are you identifying emotions, feeling them, holding space for them? How are you handling emotions? So many people think that they are doing great with emotions, but they really are not identifying them, retrieving their messages, holding space and witnessing them, and then releasing them. If you are not releasing them with the actual technique that works, they'll stay in the body and get stuck, and they create our behavior. So we don't want to just let random emotions be held captive in our energy system, our astral field. So lead your metamorphosis. This card is coming up really big in this collective reading right now, of like needing to stop wanting it to come in from spirit, wanting something to change from the outside. I've had to deal with this myself too. You're not alone in this, so don't feel like you're alone in it, but we must make the changes. We must lead the vision for our life that we want to have. And just, it's so clear. It's so clear. So sending you some love, Sag. If you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Capricorn, new moon in your 8th house, and this Uranus, Jupiter in the 5th. Like, where are you breaking free from relationships that just don't work from you, from a way of being with children that just isn't working any longer, old paradigms around children and romance. This is also around breaking free from like old stages that you used to stand upon, gifts that you're bringing to the world that you thought were what you're supposed to do in the world. And now it's talking about a big pivot here. Like you're meant to pivot massively in a new direction that's based on cleaning out all the old subconscious issues that were like holding you back from being confident, from being secure in your feminine energy, from feeling safe in your feminine energy, to be in this world as that gentle creature that's also fierce and powerful and ambitious, and who is outspoken and wild and free and untamed, and being this amazing, powerful woman in the world. And so it's very much about clearing out the subconscious realms, being powerful in the other dimensions, being powerful in the psychological realm. So if you are a coach or a healer and you're in the psychological world, it's like really understanding and creatively standing in your confidence of knowing that world, knowing the spiritual world, and that it infuses everything with life, and creating that into the world, standing as an expert. Being in your expertise and not limiting or doubting that is so important. Pluto's been revealing to you where you have not felt secure in your who you are-ness and your identity, who you are, and like showing you identities that just don't belong to you anymore and shedding those. And now it's about really standing in this powerful sense of your power. This is about your creative power coming to life, your projects are coming to life, and this is about invoking them, acting on them, doing them. Get out of your head, make sure you're taking like concerted, like creative, playful actions. And this is about also bringing in that joy and the play. Like, do not skimp on joy and play. This is like such an important message for you, Capricorn. Let's pull cards to see if we can confirm and get any other data. One step ahead is all you need. There's something here is telling you about looking too far in the future, and really make sure you look, your soul shines to this step that you can do right now, and understand how powerful it is, because it's the way you're doing it, the energy you're showing up with it, the emotions from which you're acting with. You know, it is so important, the mind that you have as you're taking actions, and where you're coming from. What are the values inside yourself that you're coming from as you're taking these actions? Your soul shines in an upright position, saying that you have to realize the light that you are and how important that is to be in this world, to stand in your power, to create the highest levels. Like, this is time to create something beautiful and believe in yourself, and just be like easy on yourself. What you can only do one step at a time. Like, be gentle. What do you really want? There's too much confusion going on in the mind, and so it's clearing that out. I like to put everything down on paper and then just start crossing things off. It's like, oh, I thought this was important, I thought this was important, but by the time I get it all on paper, I start to get really clear on like, none of this is actually important. This is just errands, or this stuff needs to just go. It's like thought errors, and what is actually a truth. And you got change maker, make waves. Like, it's time for you to stand up into the woman in the world who's changing this world. And don't underestimate how powerful it is that you are who you are, that you show up as your unique, authentic self, that you speak your voice, that you're creative, that you're powerful, that you're ambitious, that you are doing your beautiful light and work in the world, that you are healing inside. All of that is affecting the morphogenic field. It's affecting the quantum field. It's affecting the whole, and it is a powerful wave of evolution that is affecting all of humanity. Don't ever underestimate all of the little things that you accomplish and that you make happen. It is also powerful and adds up to a big whole. And one more card wanted to come for you, Creator Earth. Remember that you're manifesting big right now. This is a moon, less of visioning, but of actually like popping it out into the 3D with that grand Earth trine and that Mars and Virgo of serving humanity. This is popping out the work that we've already done into the reality right now, and grounding it into the reality. So it's like taking this little baby plant and it's like shooting up like a sunflower. So sending you so much love, Capricorn. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, Pisces, this new moon for you is in the 6th house. And you are having Uranus and Jupiter in your 3rd. And there's so much here, you know, Pluto's been revealing everything, and bringing your gifts to the world, what's stopping you, what's thwarted you, what's been hard or challenging or difficult about that. It's been revealing the secrets there and bringing things to your attention. And this Mars is popping things out into the reality. And it's all around relationships and relationship building, and letting go of any relationship that's not for you, letting go of any person that's just not a vibe match. They're just not for you. They're just not your people. It's like, who cares? Move on. 8 billion people in the world. It's like, we don't need to stay stuck and like churn on it. You don't need to worry about it. Pluto's been bringing up like all of the understandings, the psychological understandings, the energetic psychic understandings of why and what people are and the way they are, and really understanding that in a business, it's all about building authentic relationships with real people. And who are the people that are the vibe match that you really want to be connected to in a positive way, and breaking free from the mindsets that's holding you back. There's been a lot of mental thoughts and mindsets and programming that you've been dealing with that has been holding you back, that you've been allowing your mind to think and to allowing your mind to indulge in. And it's time to break free from that completely. Uranus is here to help you do that. And so this has been a journey and a process of pulling out layer after layer after layer. But Jupiter's expanding Uranus's awakening of more of your mind that is not serving you, and the part that is really helpful, that is moving you forward. And this is about taking action on that, moving forward to this creative self-expression of the lifestyle that you want to live in this life. You know, your schedule, your day-to-day routines, your day-to-day work. This is creating your day-to-day work in the world the way that you want it to be. Venus has been going through here and showing you so much, and now it's about letting this actually be real in reality. You've been going through all the wounds and the issues and the traumas and dramas around it all, and a lot of it has had to do with like psychic attacks and people keeping you down, and all of the like issues around people and wounds and stuff there, and groups and collaborations and all of that stuff. And now it's time to really stand in your power and create the lifestyle and the day-to-day existence of your business, your life, your schedule, your routines, your body, exercise, and your health in exactly the way that you want to create it, with joy, with fun, like having fun with it all, but really having that like extreme mental focus, like reclaiming your power in this area of your life, like in this acute way of just like, no, I know exactly what, right? And reclaiming your prosperity. Like this is all going to have everything to do with your prosperity and your money and your soulmate relationships here. So this is a really important new moon, being in that creative self-actualization around your lifestyle, around your health, around how you want to build out your schedule, your routines, your day-to-day work in your life. External validation, you got to stop that shit. It's like, and no, you just got to be like, nope, I'm not doing that. And just put your foot down. Like, I do not accept or desire or seek out external validation. And when you see yourself doing that, pattern interrupt that. All right. What's the honest truth and a protection message? So there's something about you kind of not seeing the truth for yourself, not wanting to see the truth, sweeping it underneath the rug, because then you'd have to act, and it's getting out of your comfort zones. And those comfort zones might take some healing to really be willing to get out of. Welcome to Divine Masculine, which is this like non-proving. It doesn't have to prove itself. It's not superior. It's just solid and strong. It's just a presence, and it's beautiful, and it's a space holding presence, and it's a container, and it's also the ability to see what maneuvers need to be made when, and to have high strategy and powerful light action. It's not the industrial fascist programming bullshit, working hard and hustle and all that bullshit. Like, it's just such massive programming in the culture that everybody bought into, and it's like what's the life that you're going to create? This moon is about creating the lifestyle of living day to day that you want to create. Fill your cup up with sacred giggles. So clear. Like, this card is really saying there's something that you're not being real about, and it's like time to get real, or you just got real about it. But it's like there's some way you're like telling yourself that you're not powerful or good or able, and it's just not fucking true. And it's like, you got to get to the honest truth with it, be real with yourself and clear that out. Like, do some energy work on that. A lot of energy medicine would be good for that. And make sure you are letting joy lead the way. Like, joy must lead, Pisces. This is so important. And this is no joke. Like, this card just doesn't come up for everybody. Like, letting joy lead. So it's like starting to get super clear on all the things that bring you joy and what is tamping down your joy, what's taking it away. Get super clear on that and start eliminating that. Unstick the stuck. There's something here about getting out of any old patterns that are not serving you, whether it's what you're eating or whether it is ways you identified yourself, ways you're thinking. You got to get out of old mental patterns. Stop, dropping ground. So get grounded, because Pisces can be very porous. You got Saturn there and Neptune at home there. We can be deluding ourselves and not even realizing it. We don't want to be in the fantasy. We want to make the fantasy real, but is the fantasy something you can actually have? Because so many people will just live in that virtual reality in their mind forever and never actually make anything that you could have that could be real. So stop, dropping ground, create it into the reality. This is a moon that makes things manifest. So make sure you're really connected to the truth of your power and the lifestyle that you really want to lead. I'm sending you guys so much love. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. It's also where you can inquire about one-to-one coaching if you're serious about getting into some massive transformation and getting the things you really want in your life. You can book a goddess call if you're serious. Sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you on an alchemical initiations episode soon. The podcast has over 477 episodes. They are not outdated. Please go to the link below and check out the Light Goddess podcast. Get in touch with me if you need anything. Sending you all so much love, and I'll talk to you in the next moon video.